Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark
The
Musgrave.
voice you know.
We'll welcome you into the show here on this Friday. It's the last Friday of regular season baseball and softball.
It is senior night at a few of the places, and you can see that I'm kind of dressed up in my D Hills garb and getting ready for senior night tonight.
Very nice. Very nice. How you feeling about it?
It should be fun. I don't know if you've been on social.
Is it bittersweet?
It is. I don't know if you've been on social media lately, but and I've been working with CapCut a little bit. It's a video editing format that we have here that we've been kind of using here. You've been using it a lot with our ticker on YouTube and other morning shows here at Canyon Media are getting used to it. So I put together two videos, slideshows with a video with slideshows with videos and pictures in them.
Right.
Overlaid it with some music. Well, I did not one, but I did two of them. All of them with baseball. Just it's a bittersweet moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So it's just the nice thing is, though, for me, I think, is that it's just a chapter that's going to close where, he's going on to play college baseball. Certainly helps me a little bit because if it was coming to an end, I think I might be a little bit more of a wreck.
It's a transition.
Yeah, but he's going on to play college baseball. I'm very happy about that and that new chapter. So we'll see what happens. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We got one more region game tonight. Desert Hills will be hosting Dixie. Also, the softball side of it as well. The Lady Flyers will be at the Lady Thunder up there at Desert Hills as well. Plus, we have Cedar playing right now. Pineview and Cedar. And then Crimson will be out at Hurricane. So Hurricane, Desert Hills, Cedar, all senior nights. When it comes to Cedar, I guess it would be a senior day.
Yeah.
But get out there and support these guys.
Yeah,
and gals. Gals. Yep.
Do so for sure. So senior night, obviously, senior day, I guess, if you're in Cedar. But senior night tonight, it's always a good time. So
when's Iron County going to get some lights up there?
I don't know. Hopefully soon.
Okay, it is
hopefully soon.
It's 2023, folks.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean to pick on our Iron County friends and neighbors to the north, but it is 2023.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, is if you get lights for baseball, then you also have to get them for softball.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
And then if you get them for baseball and softball at Cedar, you have to get them for baseball and softball at Canyon View.
It's 2023 at Canyon View, too?
And then maybe they'll throw Parowan into the mix.
No.
They probably wouldn't. Enterprise doesn't have lights in their Washington County, so yeah, let's be honest. The bigger schools are the ones that get it first.
I think every high school should have lights. Hey, here's the deal.
I think so too. I don't care what size of school you are. I think you should have lights.
Well, shouldn't baseball and softball, shouldn't they be kind of, I don't want to say throwing a fit, but why does the football stadiums have it? And the baseball stadiums and the baseball fields don't, and the softball fields.
Yeah, it's very true.
So, maybe I'm just kind of stirring the pot here, but
no,
it's 2023, folks. I mean, hell, Wrigley Field has lights now. Remember, long time they didn't have lights.
For a long time without lights.
Long time. Wrigley Field was just day games only.
Do you know how annoying that would be?
Oh, yeah.
In the heat of the summer on a hot, muggy day in Chicago.
For sure.
And you're like, man, all I want is just some shade.
Yeah.
Even as the players.
Yeah.
That had to have been really frustrating.
I remember seeing a picture of Wrigley Field one time before the lights. And apparently there was a game that went long. And so everybody had lights. I don't know how.
They just pulled out their cell phones.
But it was a day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how and when I saw this picture, and maybe it was photoshopped. I don't know. But it was a cool picture because everybody had lights and everybody was shining them down onto the field. Maybe it was flashlight night at the stadium. I don't know.
When did they get lights?
You know what? It was. We'll have to Google it. But I'm thinking that it was late 1900s. I know that sounds like a long time ago.
The late 1900s, 25 years ago.
Or I think it was around. Let's Google that up real quick because now I'm curious, and I'm sure some of our listeners are as well. But yeah, I'm thinking it was the late 1900s.
1988.
I would say that's late 1900s.
That's the late 1900s.
Yeah, I was thinking more 1990s, but yeah, I was close there. 1988, great year.
1988. Yep.
So
the first game to be played was on August 8th, 1988 against the Phillies.
Okay.
So
yeah. They're going on their 35-year reunion then.
Yes.
I know that because I graduated in 1988, and we are celebrating our 35th class reunion this year.
There you go.
That's a big number, Caden.
Guess how much money it costs to put in the light?
I'm going to go with $2.3 million.
Just about double that.
Okay.
$5 million.
I'm even surprised I was even that close.
Yeah.
Because I really had no idea.
Yeah. It's kind of a random number, but yeah, $5 million later, they got lights. And in the 80s, the 80s seems like at that point it's like, come on, just get lights already, which I think most people thought. So by the time they finally got them, it was like, okay, it's about time.
Absolutely. I mean, there were 20, 30, probably 40 years that everybody else had lights, and they were the last ones to get them. So yeah, that's a 1988. We were talking about this today.
We were
at lunchtime, where you had kind of mentioned you saw a
show. We were watching a show the other just last night. Actually, we were watching a show, and there was a flashback to 1988, and I was like, man, what would it have been like to just live through the 80s? Because I was born in 93,
and it was awesome.
So I have no idea what it's like to live in the 80s.
It was awesome.
I bet it was fun. It seemed like it was a party.
There was nothing to tie you to, like laptops and cell phones, and your parents couldn't track you. And
can I just say
they didn't have what's the Power School? Oh my gosh! If my parents would have had Power School,
my goodness, yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I feel like I grew up almost in like that perfect range, like the perfect time to grow up, because not only did me and all my friends have cell phones, so we could connect with each other wherever we went.
Yeah.
But they weren't smartphones, so we weren't being tracked. We weren't on social media all the time. You know, it was, we could call and text each other, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I loved it because as a kid, you know, and as a teenager, I should say, we still had to go find things to do for fun. It wasn't like, oh, let's just go. We didn't play video games, you know, outside of going to someone's house to play video games. We weren't playing games online.
Yeah.
That was still very fresh for us. But yeah, we were able to just kind of, you know, just text each other, hey, let's go to this person's house at this time, and we're going to go watch a movie. We're going to go out riding on four-wheelers out in the hills. We're going to go do whatever. But we had just enough technology that it made us a little bit more connected, but not too much to where it was a distraction.
Yeah, I remember.
It was great.
I remember when I was, 15, 16, 17 years old, and we would always go and play basketball at the stake centers and at the churches, around Ivins, Santa Clara, and even into, Dixie Downs and West St. George. And if it just so happened that I was a little bit late getting there, maybe I was doing some hand lines or some wheel lines, feeding the horses and stuff like that, got a little late. Well, if that church was locked up, they'd go to another church, and they'd keep going until we found an unlocked door where we could enter, not breaking, not enter.
You didn't break it, enter.
Not break and enter, just
it was
enter.
Unlocked.
You just entered. We would go in and play some basketball. Well, I would drive from church to church to church to stake center before I found my buddies, cars parked in the parking lot. But that's just something that obviously not even your generation and the current teenage generation had to deal with. I mean, because you'd be like, hey, bro, we're at the Santa Clara Stake Center or whatever.
Yeah.
I had to drive from church to church to try to find them.
Yeah,
that happened a lot, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we did if we wanted to connect with someone. Is just a quick text. Hey, where's everyone at right now?
Right.
All right, I'm coming over. Yeah, that was it.
And I remember too, where obviously a little bit older now, but when texting kind of started to become a thing.
Yeah.
I was like, why in the hell would people text when they can just call? And now it's like, that's all we do is text.
That's all anyone does.
Yeah.
It's convenient.
Yeah.
Although I will say, there's a time and place for both. Long conversation, just call.
Oh, for sure.
Someone sends me a paragraph of a text, I'm like, I'm just gonna call you.
I check out. Yeah,
I'm answering you all of those questions that you just texted me on a phone call. I'm not gonna sit there and try to respond back through text. I don't have the time for that.
I also didn't get on the bottled water as quickly as some people. I'd be like, why would you pay money for a bottle of water when you can go over to the faucet and get it for free?
Hey,
that took off.
You do what I do, and I just carry around a big. Look at this thing. I'm going to show our YouTube viewers.
All right,
my water over here. It's massive.
Did you see? He even grunted when he picked it up.
I filled it up very recently. It's 64 ounces of water that I carry around with me during the day because, number one, I need to get better drinking water, which since buying this I have, and also when we're doing stuff, and especially like tonight, we're going to a baseball game tonight. I don't want to be in the second inning and have already downed what little water I brought with me and being like, I'm going to talk for another 2 hours and not have any water on me. I'd rather be safe than sorry and just carry around a ton of water with me everywhere I go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's all about availability.
Yep. Yeah. So, I have a massive water bottle, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
I agree.
All right, let's get back into it. Some sports talk, shall we? Back into Region 10. We kind of got sidetracked. But, yes, right now, Cedar and Pineview.
Yeah, Pineview at Cedar.
Pineview Cedar going on right now. As far as I know, no updates have come across yet.
If you know of anybody,
text
out there, get them into us.
Yep. And then we have, as we mentioned before, Desert Hills Dixie. That's also our game of the week, so you can listen to that right here on the Fan Sports Network. Watch that on the fansportsnetwork.com. The link is already up, so you can go get the link already saved in your browser.
It's going to be you and a guest color commentator, Jackson Turley from Desert Hills High School. He graduated last year. So, you'll have a little baseball expertise there with Jackson Turley. That'll be a fun broadcast. I won't be able to tune into the broadcast, but I'm going to listen to it after the fact just to see how my boy Jack did.
Oh yeah, and it'll be there. It's all streaming on YouTube, so
you'll have fun with Jackson tonight.
It'll be fun. That's the plan for tonight. We're going to be broadcasting that one, and we're going to make sure to try to get it started as soon as we can for the senior night purposes. So if you want to catch senior night, then head on over to the field, number one, or head on over to thefansportsnetwork.com. You can watch senior night play out across the stream.
And I think I said he graduated last year. He graduated a few years ago, just FYI.
I was wondering why you were like,
I was like, that doesn't make
thinking face.
sense. So, anyways.
So anyways, that game's going on as well. And then we have Crimson Cliffs out at Hurricane tonight. Hurricane's got their senior night as well.
It's a little breezy here. I wonder what it's doing out in Hurricane, Utah.
Who knows? Could be whipping out there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Boy, I'll tell you what, we got so lucky when Desert Hills went out to play Hurricane. It was the calmest I think I've ever seen
beautiful
that
day.
place.
Yeah, that's a beautiful day.
So weird. It was a little eerie, in fact.
It was like too calm.
Yes, it was too calm. You think, you go out there, you think, you expect a breeze at least.
At least a breeze.
And it was just
like when we went out for the Copper Rock Championship, we at least had a breeze, and we were like, this is what Hurricane is normally like on a calm day, is a breeze.
Yeah, and I remember Daniela saying, that's what everybody tells me. She goes, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, and we had it for 3 days straight.
We did.
We had one day that was a little windier, but
it was still playable.
It was very playable.
Yeah.
Very playable. So, anyways, those are the games going on tonight. Should be fun for both baseball and softball.
And get ready for state tournaments. They start next week. Next week, everybody. I cannot believe it. We'll get the they don't call it this anymore, but the pod locations and teams that are going to be hosting and who they're hosting. We'll get that location out to you. I would assume tomorrow morning we will know all of that when the UHSAA releases all of their RPI rankings. They'll have the bracket out as well, and we'll have it up on all of our social media on the Fan Sports Network. So keep a lookout for that, and then make sure you share it and make sure everybody in your social media circles knows who's playing, when they're playing, and where they're playing.
Yep, exactly. As well, we have state soccer going on right now through round one. Dixie beat Cedar 7-2, so they move on. They're going to play Layton Christian Academy, and that game is tomorrow. By the way, round 2, all of these games are tomorrow at home sites. So Dixie has to go to Layton Christian Academy for that game.
Go Flyers. Go Big Blue.
Yeah, Dixie's the 8th seed going up against the 1 seed. So if they can just knock them out early, that's all we ask. Knock out those 1 seeds early, right?
And knock out those schools that can recruit.
Yeah, the recruiting schools.
Well, and let me just rephrase that. Knock out the schools that can recruit legally. Every school kind of recruits a little bit. So you know who you are out there.
You know who you are.
Anyway.
That's fair. Ridgeline and Green Canyon are also playing. They'll face the winner of that Dixie Layton Christian Academy game. Crimson Cliffs and Skyview. Crimson's the higher seed, so they will have the home field. Again, that's tomorrow, 1 o'clock. It's going to be a busy day here in Southern Utah tomorrow. We have Ironman. We have some state soccer going on.
Very exciting.
It's an exciting time right now. So Crimson Cliffs, Skyview, that's a 2 seed against a 7 seed. Again, tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And if that has, if change of time has happened, I don't know about it. I'm just going off of what it's telling me over on UHSAA in Max Preps, which is 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then Desert Hills is also going to be at home at 1 o'clock tomorrow, facing off against Mountain Crest. So that's your soccer schedule for tomorrow, which so far, I mean, looking at it, you have 3 Region 10 teams left. You have 4 Region 11, and then Layton Christian is kind of a floater. So they technically throw them in with Region 10, even though they don't get to fight for that Region 10 trophy.
Right.
So,
and the only thing I don't like how the bracket is set up is Crimson and Desert Hills. If they both win,
it's a semifinal.
They're going to have to take one of them. Will take the other one out.
Yep.
I hate how sometimes Region 10 has to feed on itself. But that's the way that the bracket is. We'll see what happens. That will be a good one if they can both get victories tomorrow and then move on to a semifinal. That will be a fun match to keep track of.
Yep, so we'll keep our tabs on that, and we'll get back to you on Monday talking about the results. So it should be fun. Speaking of things also going on tonight, you have the Vegas Golden Knights game 2 in the second round of the playoffs against the Oilers. They won the game 1. On to game 2 tonight. So that game's also going on tonight. Lots of stuff this weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. NBA playoffs underway. We'll get into some of that. Baseball is in the thick of it right now, and some of those races right now in baseball for the tops of the divisions are kind of fun.
Yeah,
we'll kind of look at some standings coming up maybe later in the show, but that's everything locally. Shout out to Utah Tech softball for getting the win over UVU today.
Saw that.
10-1 through 5 innings. They shut it down after 5. They said, yeah, good enough. We don't need to play anymore.
Always nice to beat the Wolverines when they come into town.
Yeah, absolutely. So good win there. The baseball team is playing tonight, so make sure to mark that on your calendars as well. Another game to put on the list.
Yeah, and they're in Abilene, right?
Yes, Abilene Christian.
Yep,
is where they're at. So let's take a break, shall we?
Let's do it.
And when we come back, more here on From the Bleachers. So stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Well, Mark, we are in the thick of it right now with MLB, wrapping up Region 10. NBA playoffs are kind of in the middle of everything.
Yep.
This has been one of the busier weeks in sports in a while. It's a fun time.
It is. It's a dang fun time,
time
with everything that we have going on. You just mentioned Region 10, MLB, NBA playoffs, and the NFL draft, NFL free agency. There's been a lot going on, and it just makes our job just a little bit easier. NHL.
Yeah.
Makes our job a little bit easier to come in and talk sports.
It does. There's a lot going on. And then there's also the off-season stuff. I mean, yes, we're in basketball, but we're in off-season basketball a little bit. If your team's not in the playoffs,
Yeah.
It's off-season basketball. There's a lot of talks right now of the Utah Jazz maybe being top of the market for a landing spot for Luka. If he decides that, hey, I kind of want out, and does he force a trade from the Mavs? Do the Jazz get Luka? I mean, that's been a lot of the talks recently.
Right.
And a lot of it is just basically that between two teams, Utah and Oklahoma City, if those two teams want in, they're the ones with the most assets right now in the entire league. And could be a solid spot for them. So,
right.
So that's some of the talks going on right now across the NBA. But, of course, there's also just the playoffs going on right now. The Warriors get game 2, so they split, which is what we thought.
I was expecting that as well. Even as a Laker fan, I was hoping that the Lakers would pull out 2-0, but I was, being realistic. We talked about it on the show. I figured if they were going to get a win, it would be that first game in San Francisco. They got that. They're going back to LA with the split and home court advantage right now.
Yeah.
So now the Lakers just need to protect their home court.
Yeah, that's right. Can you shut down though the Warriors looked hot? Can you shut down Klay Thompson? He played really well.
Well, basketball is very streaky. I mean,
it can be, yeah.
I mean, AD had one of the games of his life in game 1. He was kind of a ghost in game 2. He was, I think, 4 for 14 or something like that. It just wasn't very good last night for AD. So And the fact that that him and LeBron sat the whole fourth quarter. Now that, mainly was because they were down by 30 or so.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors put it away early.
But that's a good thing, actually, for the Lakers that, I hate load management, but with those old guys, that extra rest will come into play. So we'll see what happens. They play again tomorrow night. They're every other night until there's a winner.
Well, they have to catch back up because the 7-game series between the Warriors and the Kings kind of pushed them far enough back. Everyone else is already getting started. So you're going to see some bigger gaps in those games. But just because of that long series, they're trying to catch up a little bit right now. But yeah, you look at the Warriors from last night. They had a bunch of guys in double digits. As I mentioned, Clay with 30. Steph had 20. You had not Draymond Green, JaMychal Green with 15. Draymond had 11. Wiggins had 11. And Moses Moody had 10. So that's a solid scoring. What was I going to say? How do I want to put it? I was just going to say a good chunk of guys that are all getting in on the scoring there for the Warriors. So you got to take that when you have what is that, 6 guys in double digits?
Yeah,
you got to be happy about that. Scoring 127 total. So Draymond Green nearly got a triple-double. He was 11, and 9 assists.
Yeah, and he had a really good defensive game as well, kind of picked up his energy, certainly comparing it to game 1 where he just was kind of out there. He really picked up his energy and played much better defense in game 2 in front of the home crowd.
Yeah. And really, if you look at scoring, it wasn't really too one-sided. It's just the Warriors put up more shots, right? They were shooting 50%, which is solid. If you're shooting 50%, you're going to take that all day long. 3-pointers, they're shooting 50% as well. So they're right where they want to be.
Yeah.
For the Lakers, though, they were at 42%. It's a difference of 94 field goals to 95, by the way. So for the Lakers, again, they're putting up the shots. They just got to bury them. That's really what it is. So not nearly as many threes, though. And they didn't put up as many, and they didn't even make as many.
Yeah,
that's an issue for them right now.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, where the Lakers are more of a 2-point scoring team. The Warriors are more of a 3-point scoring team. So yeah, even if they do make the same amount of field goals, usually the Warriors are going to be worth a little bit more than the Lakers.
Well, and even in the game that they won, they made 6 3-pointers. So this is also why I lean the Warriors in this one, is just because, hey, 3 points is more than 2. And we know that the Warriors can make threes.
And see, that's no question. And again, that's just a different frame or a different school of thought from the olden times where, a team that has the advantage with height and down low back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, into the 90s, even into the early 2000s when Shaq was playing, that's who the advantage went to. That started to evolve a little bit with the people, players shooting more 3-pointers, making more 3-pointers. So it's kind of just a change of mentality. The saying used to be live by the 3, die by the 3.
Yeah.
And now it's more live by the 3.
Right. And especially with a team like the Warriors. And when your coach is Steve Kerr, who is notoriously a 3-point shooter, even from when he played with the Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the shooter on the team.
He was.
And then he gets some of the best shooters ever on his roster. Yeah, they're going to shoot a lot of threes.
I don't think anybody has a red light, too. I think there's a green light for all the Warriors.
No, yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is, Draymond, anybody.
Well, maybe Draymond might have a little more of a red light than some other guys, but if Jordan Poole gets going, he can make threes really well. Obviously, Steph and Clay, they're there. Andrew Wiggins was not
3
bad.
for 4.
I mean, yeah, you take that from him. So they're full of guys that can make threes. If they get hot from the 3, then it might be downhill fast, and the Lakers are going to find themselves in a tough situation. I do think the Warriors take back home court advantage, though, in LA. If it's not split, if it's not a series tied at 2-2, I will be surprised. I don't see the Lakers extending this to a 3-1. I don't even know if I see the Warriors extending this to a 3-1. I feel like at the end of these next 2 games, it's gonna be 2-2. That's my guess.
There's your
We'll see.
prediction.
There's my prediction.
Prediction, Caden. PK.
Not prediction, Paul.
Not PP.
Not prediction, Paul. Let's look at some of the other NBA games going on right now. So, in series going on right now, I should say. So today, though, we have Celtics 76ers. That series is also tied. They're taking it over to Philly. Again, I do think the Celtics win this series. And I say they probably win it in 6 or so. That's my guess. But
yeah.
76ers right now, Embiid's got to be feeling good. He's got the MVP locked up.
Yeah.
And that's going to be going in his trophy case. So so that might be giving the 76ers a little bit of something extra to play for.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Is Joel Embiid, is he in the lineup? Has he been playing, or has he been fighting some injuries
He did
lately?
not play the last game. I don't know if he's actually set to play tonight or not. Let me look. Let me see
like
what I can find.
It seems like I saw something that he might be out for tonight's game.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's out.
But I don't know if that's something that I saw today or if it's something that I saw 2 days ago. Remember, when you get my age, you just don't know anymore when you see things and when you hear things.
I see that he is on the injury report.
Okay.
So we will see.
Yeah, and if he's not in there, then, I mean, we both think that the Celtics are going to win anyways, but if Embiid, the MVP, is not in, obviously that's certainly goes into the Celtics' favor as well.
Yeah. Now, he was originally on track to play in Game 2 and didn't make it, so just because he's on the injury list doesn't mean that he can't. It could just be questionable.
Yeah, like I said, I know I saw it somewhere, but that could have been 2 days ago for Game 2. I just can't remember when I saw that. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm going to keep kind of looking around, seeing if I can find anything that says if he's going to be back or not. But as of right now, who knows? But can I tell you something interesting? This is something I just found. Joel Embiid is 1-9 versus the Celtics in his playoff career.
Wow.
That's not good.
He does not like the color green.
No. No, he does not. Sheesh. That's not good. 1-9 is horrible.
Yeah, that's no.
That is really bad. But you know what? This is a team, though, the 76ers. They talked about the whole trust the process thing, right? That was the thing for a long time with them. And the process is yet to pay off.
Yeah, no, they've got, on paper, they've got a really good team.
Yeah. On paper, I would pick them a lot, but I know how they are in reality, and so it's hard for me to pick them.
Yeah.
So.
Do you like the fact that the MVP is your big man? I mean,
it's been,
as opposed to a Steph Curry or a Kobe Bryant, the off guard, the shooting guard. When your best player in today's basketball, when your best player is your center, is that a good thing? In today's basketball. Well, it hasn't worked out for him yet.
Jokic and Embiid are two of the best players in the league right now.
They are, but
by the way, I was mistaken. Joel Embiid did play in the last game.
Oh, he did?
He did make it in there.
Okay.
I didn't. He was on limited minutes, but he did play.
Yeah, but they're stretch guys. Like Jokic, definitely a stretch guy.
A little. Yeah. No, here's the thing. If you can get a stretch big, then that's phenomenal.
Would Shaq be Shaq in today's basketball? I've always said...
I think he would be...
I've always said that the legends, like superstars, not all-stars, superstars can play in any era.
Yeah. I agree.
Does that even go with the big guy in today's game? Here's the deal. Would anybody be able to remotely guard him? Now, they couldn't do it back then either, but, you come up with those scenarios. It'd be interesting to see if Shaq and, some of those big guys, big guys could play in today's basketball.
Yeah.
I think they could.
I mean, as you said,
there's going to be a mismatch.
Superstars can play in any era.
I think so, too.
I think there's guys that would be even better in this era. And there's guys that would be worse.
I think Chris Mullin, Reggie Miller, there's some guys from the 80s that could really shoot lights out. Yeah. but it was a different style of basketball, so they couldn't. I think Reggie Miller would have been. I think he would have been off the charts good this year in this.
Yeah,
the style of basketball.
He's a shooter, right?
Yeah.
And he could create a bucket.
Yeah.
Then you look at guys that are like for example, Karl Malone is the traditional 4.
Yeah.
Like he'll post up, 15-foot fadeaway, that kind of stuff. You don't see that a lot from your 4. You'd play him at a 5 and he'd be a good 5.
Yeah.
But he's not your power forward. He's your starting center.
Yeah.
He would have to be. He'd be a little bit smaller of a starting center, but he would not play a 4 in today's basketball.
It's very true.
So what talking about Shaq, though, I think he's still successful just because your center can still get away without expanding beyond the rim. Not all centers expand beyond 10 feet like some do. For example, like Jokic can shoot, right? I mean, look at Rudy Gobert. He's not going anywhere outside of 5 feet from the rim offensively. Maybe to set picks, right? But he's not shooting. He does sometimes. So I'm not going to say that's a hard rule. But he lives and breathes within 5 feet of the hoop when it comes to taking shots. Even Walker Kessler for the Jazz is not really extending out all that far. So, yeah, you're talking about guys like Shaq. Yeah, he's still going to be pretty successful in today's NBA.
So Shaq, talking about today's NBA, he attempted 22 threes in his illustrious NBA career.
He made 1.
And he made 1. Damn it, I was going to ask you how many he made.
It was a bank shot at the buzzer when he played for the Magic.
Dude, Shaq played 19 years, man.
It's a long time. Where did he play? So he started with Orlando. And then he went to LA.
Then he went to Miami.
Did he go Miami next?
Miami.
And then was it Boston?
And then Boston.
And then Phoenix?
Phoenix.
And then played in Cleveland for like a half a second.
Yeah. So he has 6 jerseys.
Is that it? Is it just those 6?
Yeah, I think he has 6 jerseys hanging in his closet at home.
Yeah, that's a lot of teams.
Yeah. Definitely prime with the Lakers.
Yeah. Won a championship with the Heat.
Yeah.
So,
and he was still good when he went to Miami, but he wasn't the Shaq of 2000. No.
And I mean, there reached a certain point in his career where it was like, it's just Shaq. You have him down there because he's Shaq, because he's a big body.
He was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was fun. Who else would be really good in today's day and age? Or maybe not so. I mean, obviously, like Michael Jordan would be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the givens.
Yes. Magic would be very similar to LeBron.
Yeah. Honestly, Magic would be, you're going to hate this. Him and Ben Simmons play a very similar game, but he's way better than Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
They play a similar game, just way better.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
I think he'd still be successful. But Pistol Pete would be really good.
Oh, yeah, he would.
He'd just create shots like crazy.
Yeah, Darryl Griffith would have been better in today's basketball with the Golden Griff. Shooting threes.
Yeah.
Thurl Bailey would have been your 5. Thurl Bailey would remind me of probably a Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, long 5, lanky 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, though, is you have guys like Lauri Markkanen who are 7 feet tall and just can shoot lights out. But, I mean, you put him in basketball prior to the last 15 years, and they're going to try to make him a center just because he's 7 feet tall. I mean, you can maybe find a spot for him, but he probably isn't going to be getting much playing time at 7 feet tall and trying to shoot threes because they didn't let him shoot threes all that much.
Larry Bird would have obviously been awesome.
Oh, he would be killer.
Detlef Schrempf would have been phenomenal.
Great name. One of the best names in all of sports.
Oh, boy. Sean Kemp.
Yesterday, me and my brother were going through an old book of trading cards, basketball, baseball, whatever.
Yeah.
And we had an old Sean Kemp card in there.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Hey, when he was in his younger days, he was a flyer. I mean, he could really get up. He was fun to watch as a Seattle Supersonic. Seattle, get a basketball team.
Gary Payton
would have, he could, the way he played, he could play in any era.
Yeah, for sure. Man, there's a lot. Also going on tonight, Nuggets, Suns, getting ready for game 3. The Nuggets, to me,
They go 3-0?
I'm waiting for the Nuggets. Yeah, I think so. I would like to see the Nuggets go 3-0.
KD doesn't have anything to say about that?
KD will have 27 points to say about that. That's a very specific number.
That is a very specific. Okay.
If it's 27, I'm going to love it.
No, I like how bold you're being, Caden. I like it.
Yeah. But I think the Nuggets win again.
Okay.
I'd like to see the Nuggets just sweep this series.
I hope they do. You know that. You know that. You know I hope they do.
Yeah, I'd love to see them just put it away. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks and Heat play tomorrow. That series is tied up, of course. So
Anna's not listening to the show.
No, apparently not. She's trying to call me. She should know. She texted me and asked me a question, and so she's probably out walking to her car or something, not paying attention. But
yeah,
she'll figure it out when I don't answer that. Yes, I'm on the air. So it's funny. Yeah, but it is what it is. Knicks Heat tied up at 1-1. Their next game's tomorrow, 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little less sold on that series. I don't know. I don't have bold predictions for that one.
I think we're both rooting for the Knicks. Well, I am.
Yeah,
I think you were leaning that way as well.
I'm rooting for the Knicks, but I guess my bold prediction is that the 8th seed moves on to the finals.
No,
to the Eastern Conference Finals. At least.
Stop it. No, that's ludicrous.
That's my bold prediction.
Knicks are moving on. It's going to be Knicks and Celtics. Oh, that would be
That'd be fun.
Great Eastern Conference rivalry. Knicks, Celtics. Yes.
I hope for the Knicks and Celtics. I hope for the Nuggets and Warriors.
I hope for the Lakers and Nuggets because that brings back days of Dan Issel and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Dan Issel. Ha!
What about
for some days, man?
Carmelo and
stop it.
Kobe.
Stop it. Go to break. I do like the Kobe one.
You're not a Carmelo fan, though, are you?
No.
Not at all. Yeah, we'll go to a break. More coming up next.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in. It's From the Bleachers. Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
That's right.
Caden.
Yeah.
We've talked about the PGA Tour, the DP Tour, the Live Tour. We've talked about that, right?
Sure.
Of course we have.
Yeah. Bunch of times.
And hey, the Live guys, congratulations. You have made a lot of money by not really doing much. Okay? They really
Shotgun
have.
starts, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
3 rounds, no cuts.
Yeah.
Shotgun starts, like you mentioned. Paid up front. Plus getting big purses at their tournaments. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Good for you. I'm glad you're making all that money. I'm glad that your bank accounts are just expanding. I'm glad that your kids is, does that make sense? Anyway, I'm glad that your great-great-grandchildren are taken care of.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that.
Mm-hmm.
Stop whining. Stop whining. Lee Westwood said just the other day that he called the DP Tour, he doesn't want to be part of that regime. He called it a regime.
Wow.
Also, to Phil Mickelson blasting USGA because Taylor Gooch, who qualified for, I believe, the Tour Championship, the PGA Tour Championship, was not eligible to play at Eastlake as a result of his defection from PGA Tour to Live. Now, the USGA later ruled that both qualification, which he did the qualification part to play in that tournament, play in that major. But the problem is he didn't have eligibility for the Tour Championship. So you have to qualify, and you also have to be eligible for the Tour. Well, he's not eligible for the PGA Tour or that subsidiary. So, but again, Phil, and Phil went on the defensive on social media, kind of responding to him. Now, USGA CEO Mike Wan defends rule change, keeping Taylor Gooch out of the U.S. Open. So, and he goes, this is what he said, quote, anytime, now again, this is USGA CEO Mike Wan, anytime we make changes to our criteria going forward, it impacts somebody, and that stinks. But we can only look forward. Phil's response to that was, hey, Mike, what about changing a rule and making it retroactive to exclude someone who has already qualified? How can Taylor Gooch not take that personal? It's a direct attack on him and his career. How does it benefit the USGA or the U.S. Open? It doesn't. Just a beep move. Phil, just silence yourself. You guys took the money. You knew there was going to be ramifications to this. You knew there were going to be consequences to going over there, making these absurd amounts of signing bonuses, really, just to go over to Live. Some people got 50 million, 30 million. Phil, was, I think, 100 million plus, if I remember right. DJ was around that 100 million area. You guys got paid. You won. When it comes to the bank accounts, you won. Be happy with that. But they're still whining over the DP Tour's rulings on them not being eligible for the DP Tour on the European Tour. That's the European PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And again, and then things like this are happening. I just don't get it. I don't get it. They want the best of both worlds. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Have your cake.
Yeah, you got it.
So anyways, I just don't get it. And they're just making themselves look, I think, worse.
Fair. Yeah. Well, okay, so here's my question. Do you agree with Phil that he should be brought back in because he already qualified, or do you just say, it's tough luck?
You're asking me if I agree with Phil Mickelson?
Just for fun.
No, I don't agree with Phil Mickelson. Again, they went over there. They took the big money. And congratulations to you. I'm very happy for you. But when it comes to legacy, history of, being in the world golf rankings, you guys are out. You took the money instead. And that's okay. That's okay. You took the money. I'm good with that. But you can't expect playing a 3-day tournament, no cuts, different format. You can't expect to be in the world golf rankings. And if the PGA Tour and the DP Tour exclude you from their events, they have every right to do that. And if the USGA and the PGA have come together and changed qualifications for the US Open, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is this a direct attack on Taylor Gooch? I doubt that it's a direct attack. Now, does it affect him directly? Yes.
He's missing out on a good chunk of money.
But I doubt that the USGA, I doubt that Mike Wan, the CEO of the USGA, I doubt they sat down at a table and said, oh, how can we get to Taylor Gooch? How can we keep him out? No, come on. Come on, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil is bat crazy. I had to censor myself.
You're like, how can I say
He's
this?
gotten really strange when he hit 50.
He's changed a lot.
Not just physically, because he does actually look good. He's actually lost a lot of weight.
He's obviously been playing well, too. I mean, look what he did at the Masters.
Yeah.
He does play well.
Yeah, the sun shined on that dog's butt every now and then.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just, stop whining. That's all I'm saying. Lee Westwood, Phil Mickelson, you guys stop whining. You got the money. Move on. Play your live tour. Play your shotgun events. Buy some mulligans and get some licorice for your tournament as well.
Yeah.
Just quiet.
So I was just looking up Taylor Gooch, see how much he's worth, his winnings. And he's just shy of about $10 million.
He's won back-to-back tournaments, I think, on Live as well. Like, he's playing well there and making a lot of money.
Yeah, he's making money.
Which is awesome.
That's what I'm saying. He's making money. I wouldn't complain.
The problem is the Live Tour, when these guys all went over there, and I can understand going over there, especially if you're on the back nine of your career. See what I did there? When you're on the back nine of your career, go take the money, that kind of stuff. But you know what? This is going to affect the legacy of guys like DJ, Brooks Koepka, some of the guys that I really think could have won again on some majors.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Greg Norman, the big mouth for Liv. He said, well, we'll just start our own majors. Well, that's not as easy. That's easier said than done, because the U.S. Open, the British Open, you have to call it the Open or the Brits get mad. The Open, the Masters, all those have such great history.
Sure.
And you can't just make up history.
No.
So the Live, they might come up with some sort of a major that they call a major, but it's going to take years upon years upon years to develop history. You just can't say, here's our history. You have to make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and if they
affected their legacy.
If they don't have the best golfers in the world at that event either, it's not a major.
Exactly.
It's really not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if the top 10 golfers in the world in maybe one or two are on Live, and the other 8 or 9 are in the PGA, and those one or two golfers are the only ones at this major event, it's not a major.
Mm-hmm.
You need the top golfers there for it to be considered.
And I was happy that the Masters let in the Live golfers.
I was glad too.
But here's the deal.
Because I'm just like, hey, let them show up. If they want to prove that they're among the best, then let them prove it.
But at some point, they won't be eligible either, because they're not in the world rankings anymore. And, that's part of the eligibility of that. Now, I know if you place in the Masters, like top 10, you get so many exemptions and things like that. But those are going to run out at some point.
Yeah. Now, and that's the other thing with this is, will it get to a point where the world rankings will start to accept Live in some way or another?
Not unless they change their format.
Because you look at Taylor Gooch, right? And he's the number one guy in Live completely right now. Like, as far as money earnings go, he is the number one guy.
Okay.
To put it in perspective as well, Brooks Koepka's third.
Okay.
He's another big name. I'll just throw his out there. So guys like that, right? It's like, okay, where are they at in the world rankings? The thing is, it's hard to tell because they're not playing in the same tournaments as these other guys. When they're all playing in one tournament, it makes it really easy to figure out who's really the best.
Until they change their format and go to a 4-day tournament. I'm not saying they have to change their shotgun start. Maybe they don't have to change that, but at least go to a 4-day tournament. Right now, they're only playing 3 days.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what they would have to do to get into the world golf rankings. I really don't, but they would have to change their format for sure.
For sure. I agree. They have to change it so it's more of a PGA standard tournament.
Yeah, and
right?
DP.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here today. Just cutting it short to an hour today, and we're going to get ready for senior night baseball coming up here tonight. So watch that game on the fansportsnetwork.com. Listen to it here on the radio as well. But until then, we will see you. Have a good one.